Hi guys, welcome to my vlogs. So andito kami ngayon sa Grace Community Church. Today is Friday, July 23, Friday night. So we're here today because we have a Filipino Bible Study every Friday night here at Grace. So ituturo ko kayo dito sa church namin. So stay tuned guys, masyadong mainit. Ayan, may mga tents pa dito sa labas kasi every Sunday we start doing live streaming kasi parating full. The worship center always full with so many people coming here to worship. So alright guys, so I'm gonna tour you around the church, so stay tuned. Okay guys, so this is the parking lot and right there is the Master Seminary. Nag-aaral ang asawa ko dyan. There's a lot of it's Bible study tonight. There's a lot of class right there. The fountain area. Our friends are here, so we're gonna go say hello to our friends. So I see you guys later.
Yeah. Busy ba?
Busy. Hello guys, this is Ate Lisa. Meron silang Bible study tonight. Hi, Bible study. So we're here tonight. And our Bible study is Filipino Bible Study. So maraming tao ngayon dito sa Grace Community Church guys. A lot of people.
Punong-puno ka mo.
Yes, oo.
Yeah.
Always full. So ayun, ituturo ko sila. Yung
sige,
the
tour
Master
mo.
Seminary.
Okay, bye. See you later. Late na kami. We
Late
start
na?
at 7.
Oh yeah, so Bible study namin start 7:30. Sa inyo 7.
7.
Late ka na.
Late na.
Oo. Yung fountain dito walang tubig. You turn off the water na fountain. And behind me is the Master Seminary. My husband studied here sa TMS. And the worship center. So doon kayo sa second floor?
Oo, dyan din.
Katabi sa amin?
Pareho, doon lang kami sa dulo.
Okay.
Para titira na sa bahay si Carmel.
Oo nga, inimbita ko siya tonight. Bible study.
Kapag-pagod yun.
May dinner daw siya kasama si Lakalila at saka si Abby.
Sina?
Si Kalila at saka si Abby. Mag-dinner sila tonight.
Oh, that's good.
So I invite my friend Ate Carmel to come tonight, but she's having dinner with her son and daughter-in-law. So mamaya guys, magkita-kita tayo sa vlog. Ang hingal. Hingal ako. Alright guys, andito na kami sa taas. Okay, mamaya ulit. Ito yung room namin. Nagsisit up pa sila. Dito sa loob ng tower is they're doing renovation right now. So there's a lot of empty space. It's not done. It's under renovations.
Yes, we just got back. Huh?
Our room is 271.
Downstairs.
Oh, I think this is your
Yes.
Alright guys. Saan sa inyo? This is your room? 276? Okay, that's Ate Lisa's Bible study. 276. Alright ate. Diyan pala sa inyo?
Oo.
Bible study. Hi. Alright ate. So that was the Bible study. So I'm going to my room to our Filipino Bible study guys, which is 271. Yung asawa ko sa labas. So pasok tayo guys sa loob. Alright guys, tapos lang just finished praying, so we're now gonna eat some dinner, and then after that we're gonna continue our Bible study tonight. Tingnan natin kung anong meron sa dinner. Let's see what they have for dinner. Dinner time. Maraming tao ngayon dito guys. Lots of people. go check what they have. Kung anong meron. See what's for dinner. Pizza. Uy. Uy, sarap niya na. Pancit. Good. I'm just gonna video too. Ooh, pancit. Uy. Wow, I like pancit. Binidyuhan pa talaga. Uy, sarap niyan. Sino kayo nagpansit dito? So, ayan na dinner tonight, guys. Ayan. So, kain mo na. Kain mo na. Kuha mo na ako ng pancit.
Talking about athletes, I had a lot of pictures in my mind of athletes that they're great at their single sport, but then there's so many other areas of their lives that are out of control, and it becomes a public spectacle. I think of a baseball player within and it is a public spectacle. It's public. A baseball player in the LA Dodgers within the last month. I think he was going to have his own bobblehead night. His own little statue, and he's caught up in a sex scandal. We think about I remember a great tennis player from years ago that had a horrible temper. It was John McEnroe, known to just argue with the umpires or referees. And I think if we're honest, a lot of us have our own examples. It talked about self-control in one area, but letting go in other areas. And because the Lord is kind to us and has forgiven us, we're able to share some of our own struggles, some of our own sins. And so, one of the areas for me that I struggle in is public disrespect. If you disrespect me in public, if you mistreat me, if you raise your voice at me or say something disrespectful, I don't want to look terrible in front of other people, so I'll hold it in, and I'll be forgiving on the outside, but honestly on the inside, I know I'm raging in my heart. I'm out of control, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna get you later. I'm gonna yell at you later. When we get alone, I'm gonna yell at you. I'm gonna yell back to you. I'm gonna raise my voice. I'm gonna argue with you, and I'm like, wow, that's bad. That's vengeful. I was convicted by something I was reading. If most of us have started to look at the Legacy Standard Bible, and the pastors, the teachers, the translators out of our seminary, out of our church have done a great job. But on the issue of yelling, shouting, Ephesians chapter 4, verse 31. If you have an NASB, I've always overlooked this verse. It says, "Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and slander be put away from you, along with all malice." Okay, so we all know, get rid of that bitterness, get rid of all that malice, that wrath, that anger. How about that clamor? How many of us are good at getting rid of clamor? I was reading it in the Legacy Standard Bible, the LSB, and they translated it in such a insightful way. It says, "Let all bitterness and anger and wrath and shouting and slander be put away from you, along with all malice." Shouting. So you just go the opposite way, but you're still there. You're still out of control with your heart. Your heart is raging in sin. This self-control is dependent on the influence and enablement of the Holy Spirit. It requires continual exposure of our mind to the words of God and continual prayer for the Holy Spirit to give us both the desire and power to exercise self-control. We might say that self-control is not controlled by oneself through one's own willpower, but rather control of oneself through the power of the Holy Spirit all his adult life. On the other hand, some who can eat what they please without gaining weight may, because of that fact, fail to exercise self-control in their eating and drinking. What I am addressing is the tendency to continually give in to our desires for certain foods or drinks, I think of an acquaintance, a committed Christian who used to consume 12 cans of soda every day. 12 times 12, that's 144 ounces, right? I think of my own craving for ice cream years ago when I would have a dish of it at dinner and another at bedtime. In that situation, God convicted me of my lack of self-control by causing me to see that a seemingly benign practice greatly weakened my self-control in other, more critical areas. I learned that we cannot pick and choose the areas of life in which we will exercise self-control. One of the ways we can exercise self-control by removing or getting away from whatever tempts us to indulge our desires. In the case of the ice cream, I asked my wife to no longer keep it regularly in the freezer. Instead, we now buy it for specific occasions. Even though I made that decision more than 30 years ago, I still have to exercise self-control. Recently, I was on my way to mail a package at a contract post office that is located in an ice cream shop. As I drove by, I began to think about having a dish of ice cream. As I wrestled with that strong desire, I concluded that it was a time when I needed to say no to myself, just for the purpose of keeping that desire under control. I'm not saying that to lay a guilt trip on those who enjoy ice cream or soda pop, or even those who go to Starbucks every day for their favorite coffee drink. What I am addressing is our lack of self-control, a tendency to indulge our desires so that they control us instead of our controlling those desires.